We're back, Canada, for a fourth wheel-spinning year. Bigger, louder, faster, and roaring with excitement. Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Paulson. And, of course, it's time once again for Canada's most competitive, most lucrative showroom stock motor racing series with the Chevrolet IROC Z Camaros and the Pontiac Trans Am Firebirds. It's the 1989 Players Limited GM Motorsport Series, and we're at the famed Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Montreal, Quebec. It's Formula One weekend in Montreal, and certainly no more appropriate setting for the '89 television debut of Canada's premier racing series. There's over $700,000 at stake in the 17-race East-West Series, and at the end of the series, a $50,000 shootout between 6 of the best from East and West to determine our national champion. I'm here along with my colleague, Paul Chater.
Jim, this season promises to be different in other ways, too. It's a blend of proven stars returning to reaffirm their place among the best of Canadian drivers and of rising young stars determined to make their mark. It's a year of transition as well, with proven drivers moving on to new teams, and a year of consolidation as the established teams build from experience toward victory. In fact, '89 shapes up as the most competitive season in the history of this very competitive series, with major financial and marketing support from a variety of Canadian corporate sponsors.
We've been sponsoring motorsport in Canada for over 30 years now. We've probably sponsored almost every kind of motorsport event, in fact, started many of them. As an example, this year we've got 25 different motorsport events across Canada under the Players Limited name, and it's a great and busy season for us. We've been blessed with the support of many great organizations like General Motors of Canada, Molson's, who have been great with us. Goodyear Tire have been along with us for so long now. We've got Sunoco Canada, Mohawk Oil, and underneath it all, Jim, is the backbone, the real backbone of racing, and that's the thousands of volunteers who come out every week. They give their time freely, they work hard. They're the ones that make the events happen, and they're the real racing fan in Canada, I think.
Tens of thousands of fans here this weekend, not only to watch the Formula One cars, but to see these cars as well in the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series. Here's Jim with one of the series' major sponsors.
It's moments away from the start of this race, and I'm here with Martin Shenhall, the Director of Motorsports for General Motors of Canada. Martin, we are excited about 1989.
Well, it certainly is exciting, Jim. Already these cars have beaten the lap record here at the Grand Prix Molson in Montreal by over 2 seconds. This is incredible.
Martin, as an engineer at General Motors, I think you have to be excited about the fact that we're already realizing benefits for those folks like you and I that drive these cars in the street from this racing series.
Well, Jim, it's really rewarding for us that work in the motorsport business with General Motors to find that the things that we develop on the racetrack find their way into the race cars, to the point where the cars they're racing out here today are the same ones that you can buy in the showroom.
Martin, they are ready to go. It's time for you and I to find a good vantage point and get set to watch the action here in Montreal.
It sounds like it's going to be great, Jim, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Let's go.
On the pole for today's race, number 34, Robin Buck. Beside him, number 87, Frank Ehlers from BC. On the second row, 44, Rob Fellows, and number 2, David Empringham. In the third row, 88 Series champ Richard Spinard in car number 1, and his rival, number 43, Ron Fellows. And in the 7th spot, number 88, Tony Morris. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid as the cars get ready to move off on their pace lap. To make this series as exciting and competitive as possible, the top 6 qualifying positions are inverted. So our pole sitter is actually the 6th fastest qualifier. In fact, the fastest qualifier, Ron Fellows, set a new track record during qualifying, so watch for him. Now on the pace lap, the drivers begin to focus on the task ahead.
It's going to be a tougher series. It just gets tougher every year.
We tend to take things a lap at a time in this series, and I think that's all you can do. You know, anything can happen at any time.
I feel the pressure, but I feel fairly confident that I'll be able to run the first few laps pretty smooth, and hopefully, if I can, pull a lead out from them.
I might not be able to qualify as well, but I can run fast, and I get faster and faster as the race goes on, even with the tires going away and the track getting slippery.
We've got the car ready to win the race, so we're starting on the front row and hope to stay there.
The obvious goal is to win the championship, but I think just do as best we can.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun year, but I want to win the GM title. That's the major goal. That's where I make my living.
The pace lap is ending. The cars are approaching the start-finish line. The order looks good. There's the green flag, and we're off. Inside Ron Fellows' car, number 43, heading into the first turn. Frank Allers on the far outside. That's Robin Buck trying to sneak up on the inside in the red car. They're almost touching fenders. And Robin Buck has come out ahead inside Spinard's car. There's Ron Fellows using all the roadway, bumping over the speed curbing. The three Motomaster drivers bringing new meaning to the word teamwork. They're actually working on each other's bodywork. Cadman and Goodman ran out of pavement, and they headed for the grass. There's the leader, number 34, Robin Buck. Behind him, Rob Fellows in second place. In third is Frank Allers. Ron Fellows running fourth, and Richard Spinard back in fifth. Ron Fellows on the inside trying to pick up one more position. He's trying to join his brother up at the front of the pack. There's Robin Buck through the hairpin, and up on the inside is Rob Fellows. He's passed Frank Allers and moved into second. And off the road one more time. This is the second time this lap for John Cadman. He's headed for the grass. He gets back onto the roadway. Some of the other cars trying to sort themselves out through this mess in the hairpin as the leaders head down towards the start-finish straight. Inside the car of Jeff Lapsevich, we can see we've got a problem on the start-finish straight. A car into the wall. David White has come into contact with that car in the wall as the leaders are through the west hairpin already. That car in the wall is number 15, Nick Holmes. His Camaro badly damaged. The black flag's out around the course, joined by the red flag. We'll be back with more of the race after this. Welcome back to Montreal and the Gilles Villeneuve circuit with the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series excitement. A number of accidents have littered the course with cars and debris. Here's Jim with the story.
So the Pringles Pontiac with Robin Buck at the wheel, our race leader, brings the whole field back. They'll be lined up. It'll be a restart. That'll get underway very shortly. In the unfortunate incident in that final corner, David White and Nick Holmes having the problem up against the wall. Considerable damage to both cars. We have Claude Poirier in along pit row. He has a tire flat, a little damage on the right front. He's trying to get that corrected before the restart. The drama has built already.
Thanks, Jim. Unfortunately, that was a costly drama for the drivers involved. But we're off for a second pace lap now. You can see what Rob Fellows meant about this being a rugged series. There's Walter Kohler in car number 18, stalled on the starting grid. The restart gives us an opportunity to show you the circuit in more detail. This is how the very fast yet technically demanding Gilles Villeneuve circuit looks. We have 13 on-course cameras covering the race today, as well as handheld units to bring you action as it breaks in the pits. From camera 6 on the north side of the circuit along the St. Lawrence River, a tight right, left, right combination. Then into camera 7 will show us the cars at speed on this straight. Leading into camera 8 and the tricky right-hander into the high-speed section. They'll be doing well over 230 kilometers an hour here. Then on to camera 10 and the heavy braking that leads to the east hairpin. Always a popular passing area. Camera 11 will show the cars picking up speed into camera 12 and the very fast and tricky first straightaway. Camera 13 picks up the action at the chicane onto the pit straight, and camera number 1 is at the start-finish line. We're getting ready for our second start of the day. It's always the most dangerous time of the race. As you can see, the cars spreading out across the roadway already. There's a green flag, and the race is underway. 19 laps to go, and it's a battle between Frank Allers and Robin Buck. Once again, Robin Buck on the inside battles his way through. Frank Allers in second. Inside Allers' car, David Empringham trying to go around on the outside, and he loses in a big slide, and Frank Allers comes out the better of that battle. Robin Buck out front in car 34. Allers in second spot. Empringham running in third, and the Fellows brothers running shoulder to shoulder in fourth and fifth spot. There's Spinard battling the Fellows. He's trying to find a way through there. And on the inside, Empringham moves inside Frank Allers, and he picks up second place. Fellows cars sliding all over the road, trying to gain some ground on Robin Buck, the leader. The front three cars flashing through. Robin Buck out front. Two Motomaster teammates, one from British Columbia running in third spot. That's Frank Allers. Ron Fellows, number 44, chasing down his younger brother in a similar car, number 43, both running Camaros this year. And we've got an accident in the back of the field. Cars all over the roadway. That's number 71, John Cadman. He's had 2 off-course excursions already. We can see from Drew Fassar's car, number 4, Cadman spinning around in front of him and backs into the wall. Fassar comes to a complete stop, has to put the car into a reverse here, and then find a hole in the traffic. But he's lost several places while he was parked. He's now back into the race. Let's return to the live action. Robin Buck is still leading this event as the cars head towards the completion of lap number 1. There's Robin Buck. Let's have another look at the accident involving Cadman from Catherine Teasdale's car this time. Cadman made contact with several cars. He got bumped a few times. A lot of it didn't look like it was his fault, and eventually ended up back into the concrete. Back with the leaders now through the west hairpin. Robin Buck in car number 34, the red Firebird out front. He's got Camaros behind him. David Empringham running in second spot. Rob Fellows is running third. Frank Eller's now back to fourth spot. And Richard Spinard is running in fifth. Here's our leader, Robin Buck, continuing to hang on with his Firebird. He's got David Empringham right on his back bumper. And we got a car in the pits. Randy McDonald, car number 5, one of the top runners in the series last year. He's having his problems now. Into the east hairpin. There goes David Empringham. He's trying up the inside. Number 34. Robin Buck gets past David Empringham. Now up into the lead with Ron Fellows in third spot in car number 43, watching all this going on in front of him. Heading down this long straightaway into a very fast right-hander. David Empringham in the lead. Robin Buck isn't going to let him get away, though. He's sticking right with him. We can watch Robin Buck now. He'll probably make a challenge very quickly to regain first place. David Empringham out front. Robin Buck in second. Fellows running third. They're using all of the speed curving and every inch of roadway, kicking up the dust as they head to the far right-hand side of the circuit. There's Frank Allers back in fourth spot. Richard Spinard running in fifth place. There goes Robin Buck now. He's trying up the inside of Empringham. He's got him going into the turn, but he's just too hot going into the corner. He ran out of roadway. He's off onto the grass inside Buck's car. Now he's trying to get back on the circuit without collecting one of the cars. He barely missed Fellows as David Empringham got through without any problem. He's now in first place, but he's got Fellows right on his tail. Robin Buck now gets a bump from Frank Allers back there. Buck running on the inside of the circuit. Let's have another look at this. Robin Buck came into the corner on the outside way off line, just a little too fast, but he kept his head cool, used the grass, bumped up over the curbing, and almost collected Ron Fellows in the process. Now Fellows is trying to go inside David Empringham at the hairpin. We can see from Fellows' car, Empringham gets a big slide coming out of that turn. That could cost him in straight line speed at the end of this long straightaway. There's Robin Buck again with Frank Allers all over him. There's a gap now between second and third place. We can see all the way back to Robin Buck, who has Frank Allers and Richard Spinard and Rob Fellows right on his tail. Robin Buck in car number 34 now. There goes Ron Fellows on the outside in car 43. He's going to try to outbrake Empringham on the inside into the S's, and he's done it. Ron Fellows is the new leader. We'll be back with more right after this.
Now coming through to start the 10th lap. Here's Ron Fellows still in the lead. Young David Empringham is certainly on his tail. Right behind, Robin Buck is making it a real battle with Richard Spinard.
Thank you, Jim. And Richard Spinard is the 86 and 88 series champion, and he's got Robin Buck in front of him now, and he's climbing all over him. Robin has to be very careful right now not to drive in his mirrors. He's got to concentrate on the track in front of him. There's very little difference between these cars. They're so evenly matched that the driver behind really has to force the driver up front to make a mistake. That's what Robin's got to be careful of when he looks in his mirror and sees Richard Spinard pouring all over the backside of him. Now inside Catherine Teasdale's car, that's Howie Scannell Jr. running off the road. Catherine get a little slide sideways, but she maintains control and picks up a position. She's now in 21st spot. Back to the fight now for third and fourth place. There's Robin Buck. He locks his rear wheels up under braking going into the hairpin. Richard Spinard trying to find an advantage on the inside, but he just can't get through. We'll have to see if that affects Buck's speed at the end of the straightaway, making a slide that wide in the hairpin. Spinard now poised to take advantage of it. He's right behind Robin Buck through the left-hander, but he's a little bit too far behind now to challenge to pick up another position. Robin Buck in car number 34, Richard Spinard, the reigning series champion, right behind him with the number 1 plate on his car. There's Richard Spinard. He's gained some ground now, heading down the front straightaway. That's David Empringham just in front of them, Spinard's teammate. Richard looking on the inside through the right-hander. He can't find a way past. Here he goes now, and he bumps Robin Buck. Well, that's one way to pick up a position. If you can't pass, move him out of the way, but this time it didn't work. Robin Buck managed to hold on, even though he was bumped by Spinard going into the hairpin. Robin Buck, number 34, hangs on to third spot. Richard Spinard in fourth place and still looking for a way through. But for our leader, Ron Fellows, in car number 43, it's clear sailing. He's got a clear track ahead of him and a perfect opportunity to pick up some more ground on second place, David Empringham. And we've got trouble at the hairpin in slow motion. That's number 25, Kenny Wilden, losing it. Big sideways for him. He's the leading rookie in the series. Back to live action now. Inside Frank Allers' car number 87. Brett Goodman spins, comes across in front of him, and they make contact twice. Frank Allers in car number 87 backs up, gets going again. He's damaged the left front of that car, and Brett Goodman has more serious problems. That left front wheel is barely moving. Let's have another look at it. It's difficult to tell who started it, but it's easy to tell who came out the worst on that one, and it's Brett Goodman in car number 28. He's done some serious damage to that car, and that should be it for him today, and it is. Brett Goodman out of the car, not a happy person at this point. Let's go back now to the battle with Richard Spinard going on the inside of Robin Buck, trying to take third place, and he's done it, running right off the road. Look at this, Spinard using more than the roadway that's allowed and charging down the front straightaway. He's picked up third position now. Let's go down to Jim at trackside.
Well, Paul, down here at trackside on lap 12, we have the old master, Richard Spinard, who gets by the young Robin Buck, but can the old master hang on to it?
Well, that remains to be seen, Jim, because we can see Richard Spinard's tailpipe dragging on the ground. That's going to seriously affect his car. Let's have a look at that pass just a few moments ago. Spinard on the inside, all four wheels off the roadway. He kept the left side wheels at least on the speed curbing, but he had the right side right in the dirt. There's the gap now between third, fourth, and fifth place. That's Spinard, Buck, and Rob Fellows. Buck managing to gain a little bit of ground as they head towards the start-finish straight. Spinard still using the curbing there. Back with our leader, Ron Fellows, number 43, who earlier today received a $500 award from Sunoco as the fastest qualifier.
Looks like you're the man to be reckoned with today, so congratulations. Thanks, sir. 3 down, 7 to go.
Ron Fellows served notice in qualifying he'd be hard to beat, and he's proving his point right now. We'll be back with the conclusion of the race right after this. Welcome back to Montreal and the exciting conclusion of our race. Here's Jim.
Well, now 3 laps remain. We've still got, of course, Ron Fellows leading in front. It seems to change every time we glance at the track. Sitting in second, David Empringham, but now Rob Fellows has taken third place away from the old master, Richard Spinard, and Robin Buck is sitting back in fifth. The end is about to happen.
Indeed it is, Jim, and Rob Fellows, number 44, was last season's Rookie of the Year and plans to make a career as a race driver. Right now, he's got a new career on his hand, just holding off Richard Spinard in car number 1. Spinard, the old master of the Players Limited GM Series, 2-time past champion, and Rob Fellows in car number 44 is trying to hold him off through the hairpin now. There's David Empringham there in the Motomaster Camaro. He's in second place, followed by Rob Fellows, and then Richard Spinard in car number 1. Empringham, Fellows, and Spinard. Richard getting a big slide out of there and using the curbing once again. Fellows starting to pull out a little bit of ground on Spinard as they head into the right-left combination before the start-finish straight. There's the dirt kicked up by the earlier accident that caused the restart for this race. And now back with our leader, number 43, Ron Fellows. Fellows out ahead of this entire band, you can bet. He's in radio contact with his pit, so you can be sure he knows exactly what's happening behind him right now. All Ron has to concern himself with, though, is maintaining his concentration and being careful not to abuse the machinery. This late in the race, and especially on a hot day like this, brakes begin to fade, so Ron must brake a little earlier into the corners to keep the heat down and the pressure in the brakes up. Inside Ron's car, you can see nothing but clear track ahead of him. He just has to keep his concentration up now. Back with second place in car number 2, David Empringham. He continues in second, closely pursued by Ron's younger brother, Rob. Into the east hairpin now. Empringham a little wide going into the corner. Rob Fellows, good tight line. They both slide a little wide, heading down onto the fast portion of the circuit, and Richard Spinard all the while is watching both of them. Inside Ron Fellows, car number 43 now. Down the front straightaway. Empringham, Rob Fellows, Richard Spinard. Spinard losing a little bit of ground. The last lap sign is out now. Just one more tour of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Inside Robin Buck's car, number 34. We can see him dicing with Dr. Mark Dancos down the front straightaway. Buck didn't like being passed, and he's trying to find some room on the outside. There's barely enough as he moves us alongside Dancos going into this right and left-hander. They've got some slower traffic. Both cars move to the inside. Buck just hasn't got the room. Danko slides very wide, almost runs off the circuit, but he manages to hold Robin Buck back. Dankos is one of the veterans of this series. He certainly knows how to handle tight traffic situations, as we saw from that. David Empringham now in second place. He's got Rob Fellows right on his tail, and Richard Spinard with that dragging exhaust pipe is slipping a little further behind. Inside Spinard's car now as he watches Empringham lock up his brakes going into the hairpin. He slides too wide. Rob Fellows up on the inside in car number 44, and Fellows is now into second place. We've got the brothers running first and second, and the leader, Ron Fellows, heading for the checkered flag in car number 43. And a whoop of victory from inside that car. One happy guy, Ron Fellows, a well-deserved victory today. Rob Fellows is second, David Empringham third, Richard Spinard in fourth, Mark Dankos finishes fifth, and Robin Buck here in car number 34 back in sixth. Certainly a happy day for the Fellows brothers, now on their cool-off lap, side by side, posing for photographers, no doubt, and waving to an appreciative crowd who certainly got their money's worth today. But for our winner in car number 43, there is still one more lap to complete, and it's the best lap of the day, the one when he gets to carry the checkered flag. Ron Fellows in car number 43, a handshake from the starter, his crew running out to join him. He's got the checkered flag firmly clenched in his fist, and the crew joining him has become a tradition in this series, and why not? Without a good crew off the track, you can't win in this series on the track. Jim?
Well, for Ron, it was a nice victory today, but boy, what a day of work for Rob Fellows, and you got that second, Rob.
I'm telling you, I had to drive the wheels off that car. After the first lap, it was like Shannonville again. I was knocked way back, and I thought, oh, here we go again. But I just used the same philosophy. I just drove as hard as I could and remembered that it was a long race, and just tried to keep everybody in touch and pick one guy off at a time, and it worked out that way.
On the last lap, Rob was right behind me, and I had to brake deep again, and I really shouldn't have, and I had to go straight off. So that's what really cost me the race there.
And Jim's trying to get through the throngs to Ron Fellows.
Proud of him, Jamie.
We're very proud. It's always wonderful to win.
You betcha. Ronnie, what a race today. Nice run all the way.
That was a sweet one.
A lot of incidents. You were not near or troubled by any of them.
No, I got a real good start, and that's the key to victory, is getting a good start when you're starting from the sixth position back to the third row. I was waiting for the Motormaster guys and Rob to come up, and excuse me, I just got a nice lead. Okay, it was great.
They want you on that award platform, Ronnie. Go get him. You betcha.
Okay, Jim, way to hang in there. Today, Ron Fellows is the center of everyone's attention. Now to the award ceremony.
Motors pour l'Est du Canada, Monsieur Martin Gauvin.
Eh bien, merci, Monsieur Champagne. Quoi dire d'une journée magnifique, ensoleillée, un circuit Gilles Villeneuve incroyable, des pilotes courageux et extrêmement habiles, comme on l'a témoigné, et des véhicules par exception.
Merci, Monsieur Gauvin. The Vice President, Marketing of Imperial Tobacco Limited, Monsieur Don Brown. Mr. Brown.
It's a pleasure to be a part of Grand Prix racing and to be associated with people such as Molson Canada and, of course, the Grand Prix itself. To our great friends at General Motors, our most sincere appreciation for being such great partners. We'd also like to thank Goodyear Canada for their continued support and Sunoco for their participation.
And now the winner of the Players Limited GM race, également de Mississauga, Ontario, Ron Fellows.
While Ron receives his prize, teammate Terry Betts accepts another award on his behalf.
Thank you very much. The tires are great, and they come in handy. Believe me, we are enjoying them.
On behalf of Goodyear Canada, I'd like to congratulate you on the mid-race leader, being the leader at that point in time, and to award you a set of Goodyear Eagles ZR50s.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yep.
You all get to use them one time each.
One time each, I hope. Me first, but I doubt it.
Terry, the rest are still partying, I think, but thank you for accepting on their behalf.
Thank you very much, Jim.
You betcha. And Terry Betts accepting the Mid-Race Leader Award from Goodyear here in Montreal on behalf of Ron Fellows.
And that's it from Montreal. Join us next time for more Players Limited GM Motorsports Series action from Shannonville.